Hey again, we are Team Pulaski. This vlog will be talking about project activity number 3, project design architecture. We will be representing our MVC architecture diagram as well as the UML-ish diagrams. And lastly, the low fidelity graphical user interface sketches that we made.
We will begin with the MVC architecture diagram. First is the controller pieces within the page. This includes any of the data and requests that the user will send to the page, such as adding a new goal or updating their activity logs. That data will then be sent to the model, which will be updated with the information being sent in and stored accordingly. So it'll update any of the data of the goals, stats, and logs. And if necessary, it will then relay this updated information to the view for the user to see. The view will be updated to show that the controller inputs were successfully received, such as a new goal would be displayed.
So next with our assorted UML-ish diagrams, we've got viewing personal logs as a state diagram. So from start, we view all of them. We then split off. We either see today, the past, or the future. If you see any of them, you have the choice to go straight to reviewing them. If you look at the past logs, you can edit it, and that'll take you to a join with seeing today, where you select the activity or create a new one. If you create a new one, you get some base details, fill it all in. Everything joins back up to review, save and publish, and then it's published on the site, and the view updates as needed. Next, we have kind of a similar one for view and edit goals. Go to the personal record section. Just PR in any of these means personal record. You can view goals, edit, new goal, fill in. It's very similar to the first state diagram. Uh, Lastly, we have our communication diagram. So we have the user up top in black. In the blue, we have find users logs, view log, add edit log, view activity, and add activity to log. Then we have our two database type models, the activities and the user statistics. So the user, for example, could select a day. It's going to find all find a requested log from the stats, and then it will go to viewing said log, and a view log will then show the user the log. They can then create, edit it, or do something with it, which will go down into if they wanted to add or edit activity database through add and edit log functionality. Send the matches back to view activity, which will show the user a list of activities. Then they will select an activity, which will add it to the log visually and also add it to the database as well, so that they can use it again in the future if they so wish. And that is all of our UML-ish diagrams that we have done for this activity.
For our low fidelity, we made our own design and sketches, which we then combined into a high fidelity interface. One of the things we have in common on the low-fi was the login sign up page, the header, and the footers. Basically, what it would be and have, like having the profile picture and the user's name. Then on the right side of the header is our navigation for the site. Also from our lo-fi, we have laid out the context of our site. So when the user logins into our site, they will land on our homepage, which will have the general today's activities, current stats, and the recommendation. On the right side of the homepage is where the notification and calendars are located. From there, the users can choose to go to the log activity page where they can log their activities as well as see others, or go to the current progress page where the users can see their current stats such as goals, current records, and their progress. For our GitHub project board Kanban, we did not see a need to update anything at this point.
So just our reflection questions now. I felt this activity was very good for picturing how the actual project will look and some of how it will function in the end. Doing diagrams, getting an idea of the flow, what will actually be stored in a database, and how the view is going to actually be changed, feels like a very important step to take that we would not be able to avoid and have success after avoiding it.
This activity felt actually good. We worked on the flow and the design of our site. For me, I like the low fidelity part because we made our own designs for the site. We then compare and add our designs together to make a final fidelity. Basically, we put the things in common in all of our three fidelities into one high fidelity. I didn't really have any dislikes during this activity. The work was interesting and the documentation was not as bad as the previous activity.
This activity felt pretty good for me to help us picture our starting points. Yeah, the low fidelity sketch I completed helped me to understand what general ideas and preferences I had when it came to web design and layout. And then looking at my other group members' sketches also allowed me to broaden any horizons I had on design choices I was making, and also helped me to say, hey, why didn't I add that to my sketch?
The team's most proud of with respect to the work accomplishment, we actually got a working high fidelity interface. And even though only a low fidelity was required on this activity, we felt it was relevant and important to see how our site would look with colors and fonting. It was also delightful to see how our site would flow, as low fidelity would not allow this to happen, only in a high fidelity environment.
So I learned that myself. I really suck with colors. I need to practice or maybe just learn some things about matching colors, messing with colors. I also learned that I need to think before the code more in my other projects besides academics.
I learned that I really like making low fidelities or just the fidelities in general because I can see our ideas come to life and that we're making real progress on our project. One thing I learned as a group is that we aren't really good at color schemes for the sites and high fidelity profile. It took us some time to decide on the color schemes our site should have.
I learned that in contrast and in similarity to Cameron, I'm very picky with the color choices I make. Of course, my sketch I did was in pure black and white, just to understand the general layout. But once we started to combine sketches into a high fidelity sketch with colors, the opinions started to clash as well as we wanted to create a generally desirable look to the page. I also learned to look into other sources to develop new opinions and ideas, such as interior design within a kitchen, because our colors just seemed to work well, and it also helped to see what we would want in our creation.
So, as a group, we will continue to use our lo-fi prototyping technique as well as some of our UML-ish diagrams to get a better idea of the structure of the future projects we do before writing any code.
As a group, the UML diagrams will allow us to better understand the interaction between the user and the database structures and how we want to actually code the product as a whole. Thank you for listening to our vlog 3, and we'll see you for the next one.